For decades, one name has regularly resurfaced in public debate whenever Israel and the United States are discussed: the USS Liberty, an episode often presented as proof of a betrayal or even of Israeli hostility towards its American ally. But what actually happened, and why is this incident still used, nearly 60 years later, to discredit Israel? A look back at the complex and tragic event. On June 8, 1967, in the midst of the Six-Day War, the USS Liberty was sailing in the eastern Mediterranean off the coast of the Sinai Peninsula. The ship belonged to the US Navy. Its mission, electronic intelligence gathering. It was operating in international waters, in close proximity to an area of intense fighting. Since June 5th, Israel had been under simultaneous attack from several Arab states. The fronts were multiple, the situation chaotic, and military pressure extreme. According to official investigations conducted after the incident, the Liberty should have been positioned much farther from the coast. Orders to that effect were indeed sent by US authorities, but due to serious transmission failures, those messages did not arrive in time. As a result, the American vessel found itself in the middle of an active war zone. On the morning of June 8, Israeli aircraft spotted the ship several times, but as the Liberty changed position, its coordinates quickly became outdated, and the vessel was removed from Israeli tracking boards. Shortly afterward, reports indicated gunfire coming from the sea near the Egyptian city of El Arish. During this period of time, Israeli aircraft and torpedo boats were dispatched to the area. The ship was then mistakenly identified as a hostile Egyptian vessel. The attack began, and it was intense. 34 American sailors were killed, and 171 were wounded. The Liberty was heavily damaged. But one element is crucial. As soon as the ship was formally identified as American, the attack was stopped. Less than an hour later, Israel officially informed US authorities. Apologies were conveyed to Washington by Israel's highest officials. Investigations were launched on both the Israeli and American sides. Compensation was paid to the victims and their families. The conclusions of these investigations converge on the same finding. This was a tragic case of friendly fire caused by a chain of human errors, communication failures, and misidentifications in the context of total war. None of these inquiries established evidence of an intentional attack against the United States. In 1967, the United States was not yet the strategic ally of Israel that it would later become. At the time, Washington pursued a policy of neutrality in the Middle East, seeking to balance relations between Israel, Arab monarchies, and other regional actors. Yet, in the days following the Six-Day War, and despite the USS Liberty tragedy, US policy shifted. The United States moved closer to Israel and eventually established a lasting strategic alliance. A complex episode, often reduced to a slogan or an accusation, but which, in light of the established facts, does not constitute proof of Israeli hostility toward the United States. Rather, it illustrates the chaos and human cost inherent in armed conflict. To this day, the USS Liberty affair remains a deep wound for the families of the victims and for the US Navy. But for the authorities of both countries, it remains what it has officially always been: a tragic wartime mistake, acknowledged, assumed, and compensated.